In this lesson, we're going to learn more about two new component types, the icon component and the input component. And we're also going to learn how to find help for component types and the properties available for those component types. So to start off, we'll make a new dashboard and we'll start off with a container as normal. Add some child components to it. And now we'll add that new component type, the icon. Make sure the dashboard doesn't crash. All good. So when you're working with a new component type and you want to know which properties are available, you can press Ctrl P in your code editor to jump to a file, and you can jump to icon props. So it will be the name of your component, like icon, followed by props. You can also do container props, whatever you want to look at. So in this case, with icon props, we see there's lots of component properties available, like value, title, color, and we just want to set this one. You can see that it's a string, and it's a string defining the name of the material icon to be displayed. Let's refresh our browser. You'll see our icon there at the top, very small. For a full list of available values you can use for this component type, you can just refer to the lesson material. There's a link to Google Material Fonts in there. Let's also give a color to this icon. Just zoom a bit to make it larger. See, it is there. And then let's add another component, the input component. Again, to find the component properties, we press Ctrl P to jump to a file, input props. There's the top one. And we see there's lots of properties available for this one. For now, we're just going to add the placeholder to it. A string defining the input's placeholder. Next, let's add a border under the icon. Now, if we look at icon and we search for border, we'll see this one, rounded borders, but nothing else. This is because all components also have base properties which they can use. Those are properties that are available to any component types. So to access those, press Ctrl P to jump to a file and just type base props. It'll be the top one, source components base props, not any of these others. And in here you'll see lots of component properties you can use. Search for border. You'll see we have border, border top, border right. We just want to add border bottom. And border bottom is a CSS property. We know that because we see CSS ATTR, CSS attribute, which means that this property directly corresponds to how it would work with HTML and CSS. So to find out how to use this property, you can just search for CSS border bottom. You'll find something on MS10 or wherever you want on how to set this property up. For now, I'll just add border bottom. I'll say it's 1 pixel solid black. There's our border. Let's find some properties for our container to make our container look a bit better, because obviously we need some padding and we want to censor things. So to do that, we go to container props. We'll see there's source components container props, but we're in container simple right now, not container. So there's components container simple props. Go to that props file. And now you'll see that we don't see any properties here, but we do see something called props shared, which is in container props shared. Container is one of the few examples of properties or components that have their properties stored in different files. So to access this, we can just say Control P, container. We can just copy the string, to be honest. Copy the string, Control P, paste it in, you'll see prop shared. So these properties are available to the container component, container simple, container movable, container DND. But for now, we only care about the container simple. And you'll see that we have, let's search for center, because we want to censor something. There we go. So the one we're looking for is main axis align and cross axis align. We'll be discussing containers and layouts in a future lesson, so don't worry too much about it now. But we can see this is how children are aligned horizontally and children are aligned vertically. So we have we'll use main axis align and cross axis align. Just paste them in there. Center, cross axis align, center. Now you'll see that our components are centered on our dashboard. One thing you can notice when you look at component properties, if you see something with the word options in it, it means you can only use one of these options. So we used center. Let's see what it looks like when we use start for our main axis. You can see it changing to the start or end.